All right, this is part 2 of going from Inventor to VCarve and using the end pieces of the wall shelf that we did in the tutorials previous to this. So in this part of the tutorial, we are going to basically run the tool paths. So we're going to go over to tool paths over on the side here. I'm going to pin it so it doesn't close down on me. And I'm going to pick my tool path. So if I pick that and I hold my shift key down and I pick that, those are my tool paths now. So I've selected them. I'm going to do a profile tool path. From profile, the start depth will be 0. The cut depth, we're going all the way through, so 0.75. The tool is end mill 0.25. If it's not on that your program, you come across here and we find end mill 0.25. That is what we're going to be using. We're going to go to the outside of each piece because we want to cut on the outside of it, not on the inside and not on the line. We're going to leave it as conventional. We're going to scroll down here and do separate last pass. No, we're going to not do separate last pass. That basically does a last pass and makes maybe the edge a bit smoother when you're running through harder woods and things like that. You could if you wanted to, but I'm not going to. Add tabs is very important. If you cut this out, the piece is loose at the end and goes flying off somewhere. So we're going to add tabs. So my tabs are going to be 1/2 inch by 0.2125 or 1/8 of an inch high. We're going to go edit tabs, and I'm just going to put one here, there, and there. Okay, so about 4 different tabs. These ones are going to go there, there, right there, and there. Those are my tabs now. We click on close, and they don't have to be where I just put them, but they're just kind of, it's spread out. About 4 is enough here. Finally, down at the bottom here, ramps. What a ramp does is just kind of slowly cuts in the material. So we're going to add a ramp, and what the heck, we'll do a smooth ramp, and we're going to go in for 2 inches. So it's going to take 2 inches before it actually gets to the right cutting depth. And the profile name, we can leave it as profile name. You could call it outsides. Sometimes you're going to have more than one cut, and it's easier to actually differentiate between them. And we click on calculate. So now we get to here. We're going to run it. So we run the cuts, and there you can see they're cut like that. It doesn't matter. These are getting really close because that there, they could actually be closer because the router bit runs there and there as long as it doesn't interfere with the other two. So that looks pretty good. So the last thing we're going to do here is you go to save. Actually, we can run the tool time. So preview tool pass. And what this does is we can click on it. Okay, so that's not what I wanted to do. I want to do time here. If you set the time to 1, so make sure your scale factor is set to 1. You can look right now and see this is going to take 2 minutes and 43 seconds to do this. All right, so we've got that. And actually, we'll go back to here. So what we can do is we can reset the tool pass. We can actually hold the leftmost button down. You can see it can go to different angles. Okay, we can also use up here, go different angles up here, and preview all tool paths, and you can see that it does that again. Now the other thing we can do is you double click the leftmost button. Oops, no, it won't do that. Okay, apparently it doesn't do that on this one, so forget what I just said. So click on close. Finally, we save. We output all visible tool paths because there's only one tool path. We make sure it's clicked down here and highlighted. It says tool paths to be saved. It's that tool path. The processor should be CWI Professor Basic. That should be defaulted already. And then you would click Save Toolpaths. And what you have in your hot little hand, hopefully, from the teacher, is a USB drive. And you heard the bump. And basically, that USB drive, you come down, there's a removable disk, and nothing's on there. And I'm going to call this my name, because it's really easy to figure it out on a stick then, and shelf ends. And we click on save and away it goes. And from this point on, you would now take the USB drive from your computer and walk over to the CNC router. And that concludes this tutorial on going from Inventor out to the CNC router using VCarve.